Let me tell you something real quick. Life ain't about the noise you make. It's about the moves you make when nobody's watching. You don't have to broadcast every step. Sometimes the best growth happens in silence, behind the curtain, when it's just you, your grind, and God. So if you're really ready to level up, let me break it down for you. 5 quiet ways to build yourself without needing applause. Waking up early and speaking life into yourself before the world speaks to you is one of the most powerful habits you can develop if you're serious about growth. The early hours of the morning are sacred. They're quiet, undisturbed, and they belong only to you. In that space, before the noise of life kicks in, you have a chance to get ahead mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Most people wait until the world throws something at them to react. But when you rise early, you prepare yourself before the storm. You're not reacting to the day, you're commanding it. That's a whole different kind of power. You see, when you start your day talking to yourself, setting your intentions and claiming what you want out of life, you align your spirit before distractions creep in. You create clarity. You remind yourself who you are, what you're capable of, and what your mission is. You're not waiting for someone else to validate you. You're not scrolling for motivation. You are the motivation. And that voice inside you, that quiet whisper of confidence and belief, is the most important voice you'll ever hear. Too many people wake up and grab their phone. First thing they do is check other people's lives. They compare, they complain, they crowd their mind with noise before they've even taken control of their own thoughts. But when you rise early and speak positivity over yourself, you training your mind to listen to you first. You saying, I matter, my goals matter, my peace matters. That kind of self-prioritization doesn't make you selfish. It makes you solid. It gives you a firm foundation to stand on when the day gets shaky. You don't crumble when challenges come. Why? Because you already told yourself you can handle it. You already declared strength. You already claimed victory. And it's not about some fancy morning ritual or some perfect routine you saw on the internet. It's about intention. It's about consistency. Even if it's just 10 minutes of quiet reflection, prayer, journaling, or affirmation, that time is priceless. In those early moments when the world is still asleep, your future is wide awake. That's when the real building happens. You're pouring into your mindset. You're feeding your soul. You're programming your energy for the rest of the day. You're not waiting for circumstances to shape you. You're shaping yourself. And when you do that consistently, day after day, you start to notice something powerful. You don't need outside motivation to get moving. You build a routine of internal fire. You've trained your brain to lead with intention. You've taken control of your narrative. That's not just discipline. That's transformation. The world has enough noise. What it needs more of is people who are strong from the inside out. People who don't rely on applause or attention to feel valuable. People who create space in their day to remember their worth, refocus their goals, and recommit to their journey. When you wake up early and talk to yourself, you are not being selfish or strange. You are being strategic. You are mastering your mornings to own your life. You are choosing to lead yourself before the world tries to lead you somewhere else. Eliminating distractions and protecting your focus is not just a productivity hack. It's a life principle. In a world full of noise, opinions, and endless scrolling, your ability to stay focused is your greatest asset. Distractions come in many forms. Sometimes it's the constant buzz of notifications. Other times it's people around you pulling you into drama, negativity, or things that have nothing to do with your goals. And the most dangerous distractions are the subtle ones that disguise themselves as urgent. But in reality, they're stealing your time, energy, and mental clarity. You have to decide what matters most and then have the courage to guard it fiercely. Focus isn't just about saying yes to your goals. It's about saying no to everything that doesn't serve them. That means you might have to distance yourself from certain habits, certain conversations, and even certain people. Not because you're better than them, but because you're committed to building something better for yourself. The cost of distraction is often delayed success. Every time you give in to a meaningless task or unproductive routine, you're pushing your progress further away. And success doesn't wait around for you to get serious. It rewards the consistent, the disciplined, and the focused. If you're serious about building a new life, a new mindset, or a new future, you have to be intentional about how you spend your time. You need to treat your focus like it's money, like it's gold. Don't give it away freely. Don't waste it on things that drain you, but don't grow you. Social media is a perfect example. It can either be a tool or a trap. You can use it to learn, to grow, to build your vision, or you can lose hours mindlessly consuming content that leaves you feeling empty. The choice is yours. But once you decide to build yourself quietly, you'll start to realize that you don't need to be everywhere or please everyone. You just need to stay locked in on what you're creating. Protecting your focus also means creating boundaries. Boundaries with your time, boundaries with your mental space, boundaries with your energy. You don't have to explain yourself to people who don't understand your grind. You don't have to attend every event, answer every call, or engage in every discussion. Silence is powerful. Stillness is strength. When you remove distractions, you create room for clarity. You can hear your own thoughts. You can make decisions based on your purpose, not pressure. You can move with confidence because you're not being pulled in 100 directions. You're not living reactively. You're moving intentionally. That's when things start to shift. That's when you become and don't wait for others to understand your focus. Most people won't get it until they see the results. Until then, let them talk. Let them guess. You just keep building. You keep growing. You keep choosing your vision over their validation. Because when you eliminate distractions and protect your focus, you start showing up different. You start thinking different. Celebrating wins privately and keeping the grind going is a discipline that separates those who want attention from those who want true transformation. When you're really about growth, you don't feel the need to announce every step you take. You don't need the likes, the claps, or the recognition, because deep down you understand that success is not about validation, it's about elevation. You start to learn that the most powerful moments of your journey are the ones nobody sees. That time when you got up after failing quietly. That breakthrough you had at midnight with no one to witness it. That sacrifice you made without complaining. That's the real win. See, people love to celebrate publicly, but they often forget that what truly matters is what happens when the camera's off, when no one's clapping, and when it's just you versus you. The journey is personal, and the more you embrace that, the less you need to prove anything to anybody. Every time you succeed at something, whether big or small, it's tempting to post it, to share it, to broadcast it for the world. But real confidence doesn't crave attention. Real builders don't stop to boast. They stay focused on the next brick. They know that the goal is not to impress people, but to build something lasting. You celebrate by showing up again. You reward yourself by doing it better the next day. That doesn't mean you don't appreciate how far you've come. It means you're mature enough to know that one win doesn't mean the journey is over. In fact, it's just the beginning. That small win is a sign that the process works, and that's motivation enough to keep going. When you celebrate in silence, you give yourself space to be grateful without becoming complacent. Gratitude and hunger can coexist. You can be thankful for the progress while still pushing for more. You're not chasing a highlight reel. You're committed to a lifestyle. There's strength in knowing you can succeed and still stay grounded. There's power in not letting one achievement make you lose sight of the bigger picture. Because the truth is, most people clap loud when they win once. But the real greats keep their heads down and keep stacking victories until the results speak for themselves. Quiet celebration also protects you. When you don't share everything, you keep your momentum safe from outside energy. Not everyone is rooting for you. Not everyone needs to know your next move. The less they know, the more peaceful your process becomes. You don't need to explain your hustle to people who don't understand the vision. Let them wonder. Let them underestimate. Let them assume you stay on your mission. That kind of discipline, winning in silence, is rare, but it's also powerful. Because when you master the art of quiet growth, you realize the joy isn't in the announcement, it's in the advancement. You start measuring your success by your own standards, not by how many people are watching. And when the time is right, when the foundation is built strong and the fruit of your labor is undeniable, the results will speak louder than any post ever could. Investing in your mindset and growing in silence is one of the most strategic moves you can make on your journey to becoming everything you were meant to be. While the world is busy talking, reacting, and comparing, the wise ones are quietly sharpening their minds like tools. They're reading, listening, learning, and elevating without needing to show it. Because real growth doesn't make noise. It makes changes. Your mindset controls everything. It shapes how you see challenges, how you respond to setbacks, how you bounce back from pain, and how you pursue your goals. When your mind is strong, nothing can shake you. Not people, not opinions, not circumstances. But that kind of strength isn't built overnight. It's built through intentional, consistent mental discipline that most people overlook because it's not flashy. There's no applause when you're up late reading a book while others are out partying. There's no audience when you're studying a skill, watching motivational content, or journaling about your goals. But all those quiet actions, done repeatedly, form a mindset that can't be broken. You begin to think differently when you feed your mind with the right things. You stop seeing problems as dead ends and start seeing them as puzzles. You stop being a victim of life and start being the architect of your future. That shift doesn't happen by accident. It happens through deliberate growth. And most of that growth comes in seasons of solitude. That's why silence is so valuable. When you're not caught up in noise, you can actually hear your own thoughts. You can analyze what beliefs are serving you and which ones are limiting you. You can challenge your own excuses. You can rewire your perspective. Every time you choose a podcast over gossip, every time you open a book instead of scrolling aimlessly, every time you reflect instead of reacting, you are building something inside you that cannot be stolen. People often chase success without first mastering their mindset. But without the right mindset, any success you gain will crumble under pressure. That's why mindset is the foundation. You don't rise higher than your beliefs. You don't sustain anything greater than your thinking aloud. When you grow mentally, you grow in every area. Your confidence shifts. Your decisions sharpen. Your energy becomes more intentional. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need a stage to do it. You don't need followers or approval or a platform. All you need is commitment. Quiet, focus, daily commitment to feeding your mind what it needs. And when you do that consistently, the transformation becomes visible even when the process stays invisible. People start to notice the difference in how you talk, how you walk, how you carry yourself, even if they can't quite put their finger on what changed. That's because you've been growing in silence. That's because you've been doing the hard work when no one was looking. That's because you've been investing in the one thing that controls everything else, your mind. You start showing up differently, not because you said more, but because you became more. And that kind of growth doesn't just change your life, it changes your legacy. Guarding your energy and limiting access to your peace is a form of self-respect that most people learn only after life drains them one too many times. Your energy is your power. It fuels your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, and your vision. And if you don't protect it, life will pull it in every direction until you've got nothing left for yourself. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to you. Not every call needs to be answered. Not every argument needs your reply. Not every invitation needs a yes. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen the moment you stop giving unlimited access to people who bring limited value to your peace and progress. Your energy should be guarded like a treasure, because that's exactly what it is. When your energy is low, your creativity suffers. Your focus slips, your goals blur, and your self-worth starts to fade. But when your energy is high and protected, you make clear decisions, you set stronger boundaries, and you walk through life with confidence. People won't always understand your silence or your distance, and that's okay. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to grow, to heal, to build, and to stay aligned with what's right for your life. There are people who feed your energy and others who drain it. Your job is to know the difference and move accordingly. Some folks only show up to stir chaos, to throw you off track, to dump negativity in your space and leave. You owe it to yourself to recognize that pattern and step back. That's not cold, that's clarity. That's not being mean. That's being mindful. You've got dreams to chase, battles to fight, and a mind to protect. If your circle isn't adding peace, then it's subtracting it. And it's not just about people either. Sometimes the things you consume daily chip away at your energy without you even realizing it. What you watch, what you listen to, what you scroll through, it all impacts your emotional state. If you're constantly feeding your mind with chaos, drama, and distractions, it's no wonder you feel overwhelmed. You have to curate your mental environment just like you would your physical one. Keep it clean, keep it clear, keep it positive. Because everything you allow in becomes part of your internal world, and your internal world shapes everything you touch. When you start guarding your energy, you begin to say no without guilt. You choose rest without apology. You let go of what's not for you without second guessing. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You learn that peace is not found in noise, it's found in alignment. And alignment requires silence, focus, and strong boundaries. You have to decide what kind of life you want to live and then protect the energy it takes to build that life. That may mean spending more time alone. It may mean cutting ties with people you once called friends. It may mean changing your routine or creating new habits that center your peace. But it's always worth it, because when you protect your energy, you show up in the world with purpose, not pressure. You become rooted, not reactive. You're not easily shaken because you've done the work to create an inner world that supports your outer goals. Building quietly so your success makes the noise is one of the most powerful approaches you can take in a world addicted to attention. Everybody wants to be seen, to be praised, to be validated. But the ones who truly win are those who understand the power of private work. Real growth happens when nobody's clapping, when nobody's watching, and when nobody even knows what you're doing. That's when your character is tested. Your discipline is built and your vision becomes real. You don't need to prove anything to anyone when you know what you're building. You don't have to announce every move when you're confident in your direction. The loudest people often have the least going on, while the most focused are too busy working on their goals to stop and seek attention. Every hour you spend developing your craft, reading, studying, practicing, and learning in silence. It's preparing you for a life that speaks for itself. When you commit to building quietly, you remove unnecessary pressure from your journey. You no longer operate for applause, you operate for alignment. You stop worrying about who's watching and start focusing on what you're producing. That's where real momentum lives. That's where you gain power over distraction.